Guys, I'm here to get the Blue Velvet, which was directed by David Lynch, released in the year of 1986. And I would just certainly consider this to be just one of the most important, influential, groundbreaking projects ever made. I'd say at this phase of my life that I've been in the past year, this is probably the number one project that's influenced my lifestyle the most in many different levels. And it just operates on a lot of original, strange ways of world building, which just turns out to be just one of my all-time favorite depictions of just a simple, it's almost just David Lynch's simple execution of good versus evil. And it's just all kinds of just groundbreaking influence here. It's like the birth of his 90s way, as well as like Twin Peaks, particularly Twin Peaks. And the screenplay is just absolutely perfect at how it conveys the characters. And I think this is a perfectly linear project, which surprisingly I needed a few viewings to fully acquire on this. I mean, I was more in the Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway scene, and as this woke up with me in my 20s, I think this just revealed itself. It's just an all-time favorite. It also strong influences a lot of elements. Like Kubrick was putting in Eyes Wide Shut, and as well as like I also get like a lot of it's just a plain old 90s like foreshadow of living in a lot of this. Like Lynch really did foreshadow a lot of elements like Tarantino Cohen's like just really just the lighthearted moments are just really sweet, and then the dark moments are just really disturbing, and it goes the depths really are very shocking. There's like a lot of shock value throughout the project, as much as there's charming elements. It's just on this perfect balance. Some of the great, again, one of the greatest screenplays of all time. There's so many just timeless lines, and there's so many moments here where Comic Logman just has the perfect amount of charisma for like such an unsettling and just like sort of story. I think that it's that right there that just holds up timelessly. It's just the uniquely adventurous, and it's also like kind of looking at Comic Logman and Twin Peaks from a slightly like more youthful shade, essentially, as he's just going through this sort of awakening through encountering just all kinds of insanity, really. And, this is just an all-time favorite right here. It's just straight from the Lynch just tells it straight from the heart from start to finish with this one. It's certainly out there, but also just perfectly down to earth in its own way. Also, there's just something very balanced about this project. It certainly feels like Lynch is looking at the mid '80s from like a lot of his buffer like 1950s influence. That seems to live in about every Lynch project somewhere, and this is a big moment of that in a very down to earth sense. There's a great cinematography, like this. This is like a disturbing project, but yeah, like a lot of these scenes just certainly feels like a much more linear project than most of his other films in his filmography, like for his horror thriller. But it's just timelessly rewatchable. I mean, it's really just on a perfect level. I just especially enjoy Dennis Hopper as a really maddening kind of villain, and it's just a tale of voyeurism. Just voyeurism gone too far, and it goes into very just a disturbing psychological depths, with just really intense, really timeless atmosphere. Just all these scenes, all these moments just unfold. It's just a perfectly strange atmosphere. It's perfectly original. It just kind of brings a lot of Alfred Hitchcock foundation to like the mid '80s. Like this is just influenced so much in this insane kind of, you say it's like a shady journey. Like it's like sort of like an innocent man needs a shady journey to kind of wake him up in a sense. And this is just a project that gets right into all that. Lynch's tone is really mesmerizing, and this is timeless from start to finish. How he gets there in every sense of the word, really. It's just strongly recommend the material.